everybody, and welcome to the Jewish Cooking Connection. I'm Rabbi Miriam Van Ralt from Temple Beth Tikva in Fullerton, and today I'm going to share with you one of my mother's favorite recipes. It's a herring salad, and she used to use this for the break of the fast on Yom Kippur. This recipe brings together so many different flavors: the sweet, the sour, the salty, no bitter, but it also has all the textures: the smooth, the silky, the crunchy, and the nutty. And so I have all my ingredients laid out here. Some of them are already prepared. So let's get started. The main ingredient is herring, and I'm not using the herring in cream sauce. Rather, I'm using the herring that comes in wine sauce in a jar. And most of it I have cut up, but I'm going to cut a little bit more in a few minutes. I also use apples. Apples give it a crunch and a sweetness, and I use Granny Smith's because I like using them in cooking. On Hanukkah, I use Golden Delicious for my applesauce. Red, I use for eating, whatever variety, and there are so many of them. So I'm going to finish cutting up the apples, and I actually have a really wonderful toy at home. I love kitchen toys. They are so much fun. But the apple corer and peeler that I have makes a beautiful spiral and makes applesauce real quickly. So here are 2 apples that I have chopped. I'm going to add them to the bowl. And this is one of those recipes that is a dump. You just cut everything up and dump it into your bowl. So there are the apples. I also have walnuts, 1½ cups of chopped walnuts. These came already chopped, saved a lot of time. So I'm going to dump that in. I also have 4 kosher garlic spears. And so I'm going to finish chopping those up. I've already cut them down the middle once, and they will go into the bowl real easily. You can cut them as small as you like, as thick as you like. It's meant to be a recipe that is chopped into many different pieces. So here is my 2 apple spears. Then you have 1 can, usually 16 ounces, of chopped beets. You can use pickled or the regular. And I'm saving the juice because I find that the juice really helps to blend all of the ingredients. I also have 2 hard-boiled eggs. I love using my pressure cooker for that, but this time I did them in a regular pot. I just cooked those eggs until they were sort of done, and then you chop them, and I'm lazy, so I use a chopper. Dump the 2 eggs into the bowl, all done, and the herring. This is what the herring looks like when it comes out of the jar. It's already in small pieces, but I'm going to cut these last few pieces so you can see. I think I have 4 pieces here. And chop it up as small as you'd like. The longer you let this recipe sit in the bowl, the better it turns out. So I remember my mother making this up to 2 days ahead of time. It turns into a magenta, beautiful salad. And I just love, to me, this is the most beautiful of foods, and delicious, especially after you've been fasting all day. Really makes it nice to have something with brilliant flavor. So here's what we have so far. And the last thing we add is 1½ cups of sour cream. And that's why I use the plain herring instead of the one in the sour cream sauce. I tried it once with the sour cream sauce, and it just didn't taste the same. So spread it all around, blend it all in. My parents were both from Germany, and then in Amsterdam they really met and decided to get married. And I think this is probably one of those recipes that came over with them. I want to show you also the recipe card, which I think is comical. My mother actually typed on recipe cards all of her recipes eventually. One of them, she had an ingredient called for a 39-cent package of nuts. Now, I don't know how to interpret that, but I imagine it was the small kind. This recipe, she put all of the ingredients in, but she didn't put the amounts in either. And so I had to guess and really develop the recipe a little bit more. So here we are. This is what the recipe turns out like when everything is blended. And you can see that it's not very pink yet, but when you refrigerate it and then start to stir it and blend it a little bit more every few hours, then the pink really starts to show from the beet juice. And then when you're ready to serve it, you can always drain some of the beet juice out so that you don't have all that liquid. This is what it looks like right now, all mixed up and ready to put in the refrigerator for at least a day or two. And it'll turn into a beautiful magenta when it's done. So I'm gonna put it in the fridge now. I don't have a lid, but put it in the fridge, and then we'll see what it turns out like in a couple of days. So now it's 2 days later, and I've been stirring the salad during this time. Let's give it a taste and see what it tastes like. You can see the beets, the eggs, the walnuts, the fish have all come together along with the pickles. Let's see. Oh. I taste the crunch of the apples and the walnuts, pickles, just a little tart. There was a nut, and of course the fish. L'shana tova, gmar chatima tova. Thank you for coming.
ברוך ומבורך בפי כל נשמה גדול וטובו מלא עולם דעת ותבונה סובבים אותו המתקהל על חיות הקודש ונדע בכבוד המרכבה זכות ומשול לפני חיסו חסד ורחמים לפני כבודו